Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tony Robertson's social media roundup for November 2020. This is a bit of an overview of some of the resources that I found and shared across social media in the last month or so. I have a fairly broad audience across diverse platforms, including Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc. And so sometimes things get missed, but also I think some of the stuff that I found and shared is the stuff I believe is worth looking at. So I have picked a few highlights for you to share in case you miss them or want to follow them up because I believe they're really worth looking at. So let's begin the journey on our program for November. And as is my custom, I begin by acknowledging the Yagara and Turrbal peoples whose land is my home also, and I pay respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging. And of course, a highlight in November was the celebration of NAIDOC Week 2020, moved because of COVID from the usual celebration in July. One of the features I've started doing with the review is also sharing a few of the friends and contacts I have across social media. Now, I do this for a couple of reasons, and one of them is you often hear people say that, well, in social media, you can live in your own little bubble and not hear diverse opinions. I'm fairly lucky that my social media audience is very broad and from diverse backgrounds. So today, for November, let me introduce you to some of the First Nations peoples that I keep in touch with and have met across my social media platform. Barbara McGrady is a renowned photographer in Sydney. Adrian is leading the fight for the traditional landowners against Adani's coal mine in Queensland. Lionel Fogarty is a renowned poet, writer, raconteur, political activist. Lisa is involved with culture and community here in Brisbane. Gary Foley is a legendary activist, historian, academic, and cultural storyteller. And Freya Carmichael, one of the new generation of artists here in Brisbane. So these are names I suggest you Google and become familiar with. During November, I was involved in a few activities around the place. I supported Social Inclusion Week. At the end of this video, there is a link to this PowerPoint where you can go and follow each of the slides with links to websites to give you more information. This great outfit that I'm wearing today, again, is part of the Orange the World, addressing the issues of violence against women and girls, 16 days of activism that finishes on the 10th of December, International Human Rights Day. And there's a link there. And it's one of my photographs from Palestine Independence Day on November the 15th. And you can read more about that from that image there. I do a lot of reading. One of the things that you occasionally hear is that people are reading less, but I in fact find I read more because of the resources available on social media. So I hope each of these images sort of tempts you to have a look at the articles. Some of them are obvious. This one here is an article about the recent Afghanistan report about SAS atrocities. Worth reading. This down here is a wonderful piece by Peter Catt, the Anglican Dean of St. John's Cathedral, on gender. Really worth having a look at. And this one here, that cartoon should entice you. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you more. Just have a look at it and see if that tempts you. A few YouTube clips that I came across. Mask Up is just a wonderful piece of music, particularly during COVID. The Silentium Mitre is an art project that has been selected as one of the finalists for the 2021 Blake Award for Religious Art. I suggest you go and have a look at this. This is an amazing work of art, and it's also a work that responds to the history of sexual abuse within churches, particularly within the Catholic Church. And this is a conversation that I've been involved with, Australia and the world after Trump, a project launched by a good friend Dr. Joe Camilleri in Melbourne. Really worth watching. Also, here in the interfaith video that might challenge some of your fears and prejudice. And this is a great clip from, again, from St. John's Cathedral, the Labyrinth Walk for Pride Week, which we celebrated during November here in Brisbane. Again, if you click on those images, you will be taken to the YouTube clips where you can watch those productions. So, what do people respond to when I put stuff up online? I'm quite amazed by some of the and occasionally I hear from people I don't hear from very often. So the post of the month for November was this one with Viggy, my soulmate, and I celebrating Diwali here at home. So we got 146 likes and 9 comments. And I'd say this is our multi-faith, multicultural household. So that was a bit of a buzz seeing the people I haven't heard from very often and different friends responding to that. A couple of obituaries that I want to acknowledge in November. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs in the UK, a totally inspirational teacher and wise person. Michael Kelly, again, a wise teacher from the LGBTIQ community, a Catholic who pushed the envelope further than the Vatican. Michael was a wonderful man, deeply spiritual, extremely gifted writer. So there's a link there to my Holy Eriton tribute to Michael. If you want to learn more about both these gentlemen, click on those pages. Okay, Facebook throws up memories, things that we've done or posted. And here's a couple of my favorites. This one on the left is a great photograph I took some years ago. And if you click on that, you'll be able to see the whole photograph. Look at them all logged into their phones, meeting up. This is the school magazine of my old college, St. Joseph's College, Geelong, 1970, because this is the 50th anniversary of my Year 12 group. And there's been amazing opportunities to Zoom and get together with old boys from the college. And this was a feature from a climate justice action I took about 5 years ago. Great photo that came up when I was doing some photography as well. Want to follow me? Want to know what I do on social media? Keep in touch with me through my blog. You can click here and go to justlivingoz.blogspot.com. This is my YouTube channel. I'm starting to put a lot more videos such as this onto YouTube. And so visit the channel when there's nothing else on TV. Come along and have a look at some of the material I'm providing on my YouTube channel. You can follow my Facebook photography page. I have a Twitter account and I have an Instagram account. Again, a wide and diverse audience across all these platforms. So I invite you to join me on the adventure of social media, discovering more about our world, our community, justice, and the issues that you might like to share with me. Don't just look at the stuff. Let me know what you think about it. Give me a bit of a response. It's about social media, our engagement with each other. Thanks very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again real soon. And this will be available on YouTube with a link to the blog page where you can follow up all the details. Thanks and goodbye for now.